Hey everybody, it's Dirk and Scott here, the Goosehead guys, and today we are glad to be joined with Nikki Crow. Now, Nikki is the owner, entrepreneur, master home inspector of the Home Inspector team. Thanks for joining us, Nikki.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
That's fantastic.
That's kind of cheesy, huh?
No, but it's not. Cheesy's good because we're generally excited to be here. We're going to be talking about something that I think a lot of our customers I know have no clue about. And so we want to kind of go over a couple of topics, but the most important one, that's what we want to hear first. What is, as you are inspecting homes, both new purchase, being sold, or just people getting inspections, what is one of the biggest things that you see wrong with people's houses?
Oh, that's a really good question. Really the number one thing is going to be people understanding what's sudden and accidental. As you guys probably know,
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
See, we're right on the same page.
We are.
You guys probably field, hundreds of calls a month about, hey, my pipe was leaking, now I have this damage. Am I covered? And so I think for us, just educating our clients about water and how dangerous it is to your home.
I think, is that something that we experience?
It's something we absolutely experience.
Yeah.
But we don't sell policy without it, so.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I think the most important thing and it's most important to have an insurance agent that actually does some education.
Absolutely.
Because you guys are gonna be able to catch it on the front end. So you're gonna let them know kind of if that damage exists.
Yeah.
It's our job to make sure that the customer knows how to prevent it and what is covered and what's not.
Correct.
So give us an example, like what is some examples of water damage on a house?
Sure. So a great example is our kiddo upstairs in his shower. His shower was leaking, and it was actually going behind the wall, and so it actually has dripped from upstairs to downstairs and caused some water damage on our ceiling. Well, we don't use that shower. Our kiddo didn't tell us that it was leaking, so now we're going, oh, great. Now, granted, luckily we were able to catch it before the ceiling fell in or it was causing major damage. But I think that's just a really great example. Do you want me to give you another one? Because I can go on and on and on.
I think that's perfect. No, and I know you can, because I know we've seen it. Yeah, we've seen it too. And I think that's the important thing for people to realize is that if you have water damage, an insurance company is going to look at it as the difference between preventable and sudden and accidental.
Absolutely.
And sudden and accidental means that a pipe breaks or something happens all of a sudden and it's accidental. So that's kind of pretty easy to remember there, right?
Yeah.
So if it's not sudden and accidental, even though it suddenly happened to you, what are some of the things that a claims adjuster is going to look at when they're coming in? What is going to help indicate that it is not sudden or accidental?
I think it's pretty much what you just said. Is there visible evidence of a pipe breaking, or is it just a water stain on the roof? Is there mold growth? If there's mold growth, that means not sudden and accidental.
Because it takes time and humidity and things like that to create that problem.
Absolutely.
So in your case, if there is a leak in the back of a shower and it's slowly dripping, it could take sometimes upwards of a couple of months before that creates something that is a huge problem, which that's not sudden and accidental.
Yeah.
And now you have a huge problem because now you're going to have to go in and you're going to have to rip out all of the tile on your shower. You're going to have to remove all of the drywall. You're going to have to look in there and see what the problem is. You're going to see mold growth. And you're going to call your claims adjuster. You're going to call us, and we're going to send somebody out. And they're going to look at it and they say, I'm sorry, this is not covered because this is preventable. So what are some ways from a home inspection side, how can people prevent this?
One, just walking around your house and being aware. It's very easy, I think, as we are homeowners to just want to get things done. There's certain rooms that we don't go into as much as we do others. So just being aware of your home, walking around, looking at things, looking up, don't always look down. If you're starting to see something small, don't do what I do. If my car makes a noise, I just turn the radio up and I pray to God that it just stops.
It'll go away.
Like you do definitely want to note those things. because when it gets to the point where insurance does not cover it, because of our favorite phrase today, sudden and accidental, you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars to repair it, when once a month a 20-minute walk through your home and around your home could definitely help you.
That's awesome. And ideally, that's what insurance is for. But you don't want to have to use it. You're going to have to spend your deductible. Usually with us, it's between $500 and $1,000. Other companies sell $2,500 deductibles, but we don't recommend those.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do that. Plus, you're opening yourself up now to having increased insurance rates because you had to make that claim. So that's phenomenal. So we appreciate you saying that. Now, tell the audience a little bit about what can they do? What are some ways that they use a home inspector? Sure. Because I think most people just say, well, I'm not buying a house, I'm not selling a house, I don't need a home inspector. Is that true?
You are just hitting the nail on the head. You've brought up so many good points. Like I feel like we should throw a construction hat on you.
That's right.
You construction
throw some confetti in the air and start singing YMCA.
So that, as home inspectors, is actually one of the main education points that we're trying to get out. Is a home inspection is not just for new real estate transactions. It's not when you're buying a home. It's not when you're selling a home. It's not when you're refinancing a home. It is actually something you should get done every 1 to 3 years. Now, you're going to ask me why. I know you are.
You know that.
Got
my number.
If you're in the state of North Carolina, as you guys all know, we get that lovely little letter from the DMV that makes us get our car inspected every single year, correct?
That's right.
Right. But we don't do that for our homes. Yet, what is the value of our car? What's the value of our home? What are we putting the bigger emphasis on? And the reason we say every 1 to 3 years is things change very quickly. I mean, your home and how the water is flowing can differ from this week to next week.
How it settles.
Let alone a year, 3 years. God forbid you've been in your house for 10 years. Guess what? Things have changed.
Yeah. Well, let's finish up by giving us an example. Give us an example of why somebody should have had an inspection.
One of the stories I really dread telling is we had a client who, very similar to what our leak was upstairs, but their toilet was running. You know, when your toilet just runs and runs and you jiggle and you're like, oh, I'm good because I got it to
we
stop
just turn it
jiggling.
off completely, and
Yes.
so hopefully the water never runs again.
Well, they actually, exactly what you're talking about, they had the water and actually went under their tile, under their tub, and just created a nightmare. Luckily, Charlie was able to get into it where he was downstairs and he looked up and he's like, man, that just looks really funky. And he went upstairs and realized what was happening. And so they ended up having to pay $57,000 to a restoration company to come in, tear up things, where if they had maybe gotten the inspection done, we could have caught that before they had to spend the $57,000 because it was not covered by their insurance.
See, that's a perfect example. And we first of all want to thank you so much for being a part of this. And I think it's a good example. I mean, like, look at some of the things that you do. You don't take your car in when you're hearing a noise, although most of us do. You take it in before because that prevents the noise from happening.
Yeah.
You don't go to the dentist, or you're not supposed to, when you have a toothache.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go before and do the things to help prevent the toothache.
Correct.
Or cavity.
Or the cavity.
Yep.
Exactly. And so why is it different from this is the largest single purchase anybody will probably ever make in their entire life.
Absolutely.
Besides your wife.
But I'm bummed.
But it's important, though, to make sure then that they reach out and talk to you.
Yeah.
Because it's just the same as getting that checkup on the car, just the same as getting that checkup on your tooth. You need to do it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Nikki,
you.
for joining
Nikki.
us. We ask that everybody reach out to the Home Inspector team. What's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
We have a Facebook page. We also have a website, and we are on LinkedIn all the time. And we have a phone number, of course. And an email address. Forgot that one.
What about a fax number?
Nope. We did draw the line there.
Go green.
What's your number?
It is, you can actually reach me directly. It's going to be 919-889-7620, and you can call or text.
Say that number one more time.
919-889-7620. 7620.
Wow, it just rolls off the tongue.
Yes.
All right, thanks everybody for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time with the geese.